all Crypto Nation and mining family. What's going on, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? I see we got Rude in the his house dropping that hi. What's going on, everybody? Why does YouTube keep putting down top chat? Just give me live chat. I'm live. Don't need top chat because top chat does not show me all the chat. I've learned YouTube trick with that. I'm like, there's people that were getting mad at me, like going, man, you didn't see me chatting? I'm like, no, not at all. And then I've started noticing since somebody said that to me that it's giving me top chat, so I don't see everything. So what is going on, everybody? Hopefully everybody's getting it on a Tuesday, getting that daily grind down. So what is going on? FA for sure, Rude. That is true, FA. Sorry for being a little bit on the late side. Of course, this is why I've been pushing time back because of the company. It's the end of the month. I got to pay bills. I'm like moving funds around and stuff like that. And I wanted to make sure the last of the funds that I was moving around before I went live transferred over. It did. We're good to go. Bon appetit, right? Bon appetit. So I hope everybody is having a great day. It is almost the end of the month. We're almost done knocking back 2 months of the year, guys. That means we only got 10 months left. Bro, where's time flying, guys? Where is the time flying? So I hope everybody's capturing every moment of every day for your daily grind. And with that being said, guys, let's dig into today's stuff. Bam. We got the S&P 500. It is down 2%, guys. That's a big move for such a mature market. Nasdaq 100 is down 2.37%. Bitcoin is down 1.82%, 81% fluctuating. And of course, when markets go down, you can usually guarantee that the dollar index went up. So the dollar index is up 0.32%. So the dollar is a little stronger, which makes assets go down in evaluation. When assets go up in price, that's when you already want to be going into it. You want to already be in the assets that are lifting up in price. And then you look at the assets that have dropped in price and you start wash trading in between. That's what these bigger hedge funds, and this is the stupid shit they do, right? So you're going to see them, kind of put their money into the dollar index whenever the dollar index prints a negative count. And then, they're going into cheap dollars. And then, of course, when it flips the other way, they're going to come back into the asset class here. But I'm not sure how far they're thinking this is going to ride out. So time flies when you're having fun. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Rude. So it's like seeing that the rest of the markets are down and that they're down a little bit worse than Bitcoin is. If you're all into Bitcoin, you're doing good, guys. So Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 2%, and the Russell 2000 is almost down 3%, and that's where MicroStrategy is. Michael Saylor, the guy that has been that bought in the bull run. He helped create the bull run. I swear to God, that man bought a lot of Bitcoin. And then you got ARK Investment, one of the second largest Bitcoin firm holding Bitcoin on their balance sheets publicly. So I mean they're taking a bloodbath over there at like 3%. And I bet you if I were to look at those individual companies of MicroStrategy and ARK Investment, I bet you that they are not down as far as everything else in the Russell 2000 index. So, I mean, there's probably stuff in there that's performing way worse if you start breaking down all the numbers. It's like, I need to see some new shit coins to mine. Oh, say it ain't true. Say it ain't true. I mean, we could sit there and, there's really nothing new. That's the problem. It's like if there was something new and interesting that came out, and it wasn't just I'm gonna get onto a hype train, right? So like Ethereum W, right? The wrapped Ethereum garbage, right? And you're sitting there and you're like looking around and you're like, man, that coin was only designed to put your hash rate onto. That's all it was for. There was no building on there. So, the ETH got this extraordinary hype right off the gate because everybody's like, oh, look, they're forking the code and Ethereum's not dead. It's like, bro, all the development went with them. That's what happened to Ethereum Classic, is that all the development followed the main team as it went on. So, I mean, I knew to stay away from that one. I mean, it's like I hate ETH forks and Ghostwriter forks. Yeah, exactly, Mad Electron. Exactly. It's like, if we're gonna sit there and absolutely be going speculative mining here just to turn somewhat of a better profit off on the other end, I mean, everybody's sitting here looking at the same metrics, and it's like, and it seems like the new coins that have been coming out are like either really obvious like scams. I mean, they're not even hiding it. Like the good coders are like, yeah, we've already made all of our money already and we're done, right? I don't know, but there hasn't been any good coders out there that have been making a project that's worthwhile. I've seen projects where I don't mind the dev team. Even though I know it's a poop coin, but it's like I know the dev team, but they're not doing anything. It's like Tron Black with Raven Coin. Do something with your protocol and make it interesting. Following the leader on everybody else just puts you behind the game. Figure out your niche and go after it. Otherwise, you're a zombie project. And it's like, and I got no problem with Tron Black. He just needs to get that one little thing to get it going. It's Kapow is a hard energy usage. It's like, it doesn't really need core, it doesn't really need memory, it needs both, but it's like tuned by how much electric it can consume. So your only limitation is your ability to whip the heat off the card. Can you fight the wattage output? Can you if you're sitting there and you're running 1,000 watts, and keep in mind that each watt makes 3.41 BTUs of heat. So 1,000 watts on Kapow is a lot of wattage. I mean, if you guys are like smaller rigs, if you've never felt the heat off of a 1,000 watt rig or a 3,000 watt rig, man, you ain't living. I'm just saying. It's like the heat that comes off of it. You can heat up a couple of rooms with a 1,000 watt heater. I mean, it's just an electric heater. Electric heater can heat up a 10 by 15 room. That's what you're playing with. So if you got like a bunch of those, now you're talking, okay, the coin's got to be able to pull in so much for me, because not only do I have my rig that I gotta worry about the electricity usage, but now I got to worry about all my cooling that I'm going to be now implementing, because now I've got to have fans in there, and the fans can't be on low because I'm pulling that much wattage. My fans have got to be on high, so now I've got to equate for that too. So now I've got to be profitable for the rigs and the cooling system. So I mean, like, somewhere down the line, one of these projects, a couple of the projects need to come together and make a better project and be like, okay, no, we're gonna keep everything as is. We're gonna, it's like, and we're gonna go, okay, these were just test runs for this, and have a couple, 3, 4, 5 projects come together and make one in an innovative product. I think that's a better way. But it's like, at this point, it's and me and Mikkel have been around a few people that have been sitting there and foretelling that GPU mining was going to be taking a hit here soon. We probably got told this, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we were like, well, then we have X amount of time to try to get the facility up and running and being able to roll out ASICs in it. Period. It's like, and that's kind of how I looked at it. And I was like, man, the only other thing I didn't factor in was that Bitcoin was going to take such a nasty dive in the process of getting everything started. But yeah, I mean, one of these either an existing project out there needs to pull in devs from other projects that are no longer doing anything and do a gigantic collab product. And I think that'll be something more innovative and more exciting for the network. Finding a GPU project that a bunch of other devs that aren't doing anything but twiddling their thumbs, and go be like, hey, no, go work over here. Go work on something amazing. I don't care you're not getting paid right now. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that work their butt off for a year with no pay. It's called go get a day job. And it's like, and build something that's more innovative, because if you work it from that angle, you're going to sit there and you're going to do some things for the project that you normally would have overlooked because, you're thinking about, oh, am I going to get paid if I do this? No, get it through your head. You're not getting paid. Your payouts when the project goes live and you start getting the excitement of the community back in. And you get the GPU miners in, because the GPU miners are who are testing out that network. We're like, oh, we got these free coin. Well, what can I do on this network with this free coin that it's like, or coin that I spent hardware on that I spent electricity on it outside of mining it. What can I do with it? Give me a use case on a coin and you'll watch that coin do far better. That's the problem with all these other coins. And what's their use case? Seriously. I mean, outside of the mining community, doing another grassroots. I mean, that's basically what we did with Ethereum. I mean, I wasn't there from the very beginning, so I mean, it wasn't really me. But you have people like BBT, Carter. He was one of the early OG champions for Ethereum. And, it's like, is he going to stick around to try to grassroots another coin? I mean, he's now at scale. Does it make sense for him to run a GPU mining facility and try to grassroots another community? Does it make sense? He's beyond, where we're at home. It's like I'm running rigs at the house here. It's like, so if are you guys going to want to grassroots another coin? That's going to be really where I think that this is really going to start off from. If we want to see another explosion in a project, it's got to be because the miners themselves are particularly going, is this something we want to get into? BBT, the crypto goat. You know it, my dude. You know it, Automatic Beats. I pay homage to that man. I whenever I ask him a question, my mouth shuts the hell up and I listen, because that man just spews out pure alpha. I mean, pure alpha. So that, I mean, it's like I would love. It's like I've been trying to sit there and get a meeting set up with him, and it's just been proven to be pretty rough. But I mean, we got enough things going on with the. I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole operation, but I've seen parts of what he's got going on. With the shipping containers and the Bitcoin ASICs, me and him got into a little bit of a little in-depth conversation while he had a moment, and kind of laid it out. We were sitting there chit-chatting for probably about a half hour, 45 minutes while he was in the middle of doing nothing. I like caught him at the perfect time. Oh yeah, automatic beats. It's like I seen him talk once and it was amazing. It's like you go into the promised land of knowledge. That man just goes, here you go. He wants the knowledge? Here's a copy. Copy pasta. Here, have it. How you like that? And you're like, oh man, my brain's melting. That's a lot of wow. Yeah, I love Carter. Carter's a good dude. All of them are. Every one of those guys. They're good people. Um, I like his new mind. It's like I've seen him from his old location to his new location. I've been past his old location, driving past because like I'm not. I don't. Me and Carter are not horribly far away from each other. Definitely doable to drive there and back and hang out in one day. I took a buddy who knew nothing about crypto, and after listening to BBT, I think I talked his brain. His brain hurt too. Yeah, it's like halfway through it, and you're like, "Hold on, can we take a break, dude? I need to ingest that." Whoa. Yeah. The man's been around for a long time, and then there's been times where me and him have like sat there and shared some knowledge, and it's like BBT knows when people are genuine. BBT understands when, I mean, that whole team they know when they're talking to somebody that's got knowledge, and they can hit them up in a completely different way. And the whenever I hit Carter in the right moments, yeah, that he like it's like wow, I didn't even think about it like that. Ah, oh, damn it, I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, I did that. I did that. Oh yeah, I definitely did that. That was a must. Okay, I did that. I mean, it's like I'm sitting here going through her checklist and I'm going, oh man, out of my 10 thing checklist, I missed 5. Damn it. Oh. So yeah, exactly. I love that guy. That guy is amazing, absolutely amazing. And like, yeah, it's like it's just he's a wealth of knowledge for sure. And but I mean, it's like all about it's like our but going back to that original question though, to kind of circle back is how many of us do we really want to try to grassroots another project? I mean, seriously, how many of us want to grassroots another project and to bring it up to profitability? Because that's what it took for Ethereum, is that it took a lot of the GPU miners to start building on the platform, start utilizing the platform, checking it out for all of its potential. And good, bad, or ugly, Ethereum did a hell of a job. Good, bad, or ugly. It's like for the purpose of what they did, it worked. Do I believe in the project? Ethereum itself? Oh no, I never did. Because of the fact that Ethereum is a fork. It's not the main. It's not the original main chain. So that I have an issue with. So outside of that, that issue, Ethereum did what it was set out to do. It was usable. People utilized it. Bitcoin maximalists might like myself and be like, that's all poop coins. Oh my God, it's scam platform central. You know what? It worked. And it's like for GPU mining, it made a lot of people a lot of money, especially if you got in really early in on that project. A lot of people, got in that did pretty good. But it's like, how many of us want to do that again? How many here would be dedicated to that? And for me, that's a no-go. I need to have something that's definitely profitable. So at this point, because that unless it's something like just, wow, this is amazing, you're not going to get that grassroots startup. So then you're now trying to fight for each one of these projects. Are now trying to fight for what remaining miners are out there to keep their project limping along until the next cycle, and waiting for Poop Coins to go into its next bull run cycle, so it doesn't matter that you're mining absolute garbage that has no real usability behind it. You know, it's a definite issue. The Deadwood, the oil companies are mining BTC with waste gas. Yep. So we'll see farmers mining via cow poo and diesel gens. So farming BTC or other crypto. You'll also see oil drillers using flare gas. So you're seeing a lot of people doing natural gas generators, and they're going right up to the point of where they're doing the flare gassing. That's how the oil companies are actually getting involved with that. So it's like you can convert a diesel generator into running on propane. So, yeah, I mean, it's like I could definitely see, like why the oil companies are already doing this. So why won't cities? They already used pond and captured the gas from the manure. Yep, and powered farms today. Yes. Why won't cities follow? I don't think I think it's a output issue. And they don't want to. They don't want to input the infrastructure needed. Because if they put the infrastructure needed to update the energy system, this would take away from them money laundering through the Ukraine. So, bam, there is that. So it's you have these green energy people that are lobbying for all these companies to stop using any kind of burning fuel, and wants everybody else to not use burning fuel. But they're not willing to sit there and update any of the infrastructure in order to go down that route. It's like the game Sims from early on taught you that you go from coal to gas to nuclear. This is the way, right? If you were able to do hydro, cool. But you had to destroy a vast amount of land to be able to have enough water pressure to spin the turbines fast enough to produce have the output of what you need. I know, Deadwood. I know. They're so worried about cow farts that they're not willing to solve the more obvious issues, which is just a decaying, outdated energy grid system that desperately needs an update. And putting windmills everywhere is not updating it. That's like prehistoric energy. It's like it's like prehistoric energy that really is not scalable because it takes up too much land. Period. It's like we need stuff that's compact and user friendly. But what do I know? I'm just a boob tuber, right? So, getting into some stuff here, it's like hydro needs to use inline turbines rather than have a one-shot. Yeah, exactly. But it's the most efficient way as of right now. So it's like we hillbillies think too much. I know. You could sit there and put one of those inline turbines right into a creek. make a bunch of wattage that way. Mm-hmm. It's like that's actually a viable thing. If you live near a river of any sort, man, you could put freaking little turbines into the water, and man, they will move some. They will produce some serious freaking amounts of electricity if you get the right setup. But yeah, that's just me thinking out the box. And it's like, and people think that, oh, I got it. We'll put solar panels on everybody's rooftop and we'll have plenty of power. No, you still won't have plenty of power. It doesn't even matter. No, there will never be enough power from, even if you try to scale that. It's like, you can go into China, look at China. They got a mountaintop that they covered with solar panels. They're broken and disconnected. A lot of their so-called green energy stuff isn't even connected into the grid. They're just there because they knew it was a waste. It was just a waste of money to try to sit there and maintain it. They get into the maintenance side of it and they're like, it's going to cost me what? Yeah, unplug it. Yo, take it easy. Thank you for being here, my dude. Thank you. Yo, what up, Crypto Badell? Dropping that FA. Oh yeah, Patrick. Oh yeah. It's like they don't care about the cow farts for sure. They're just they just want to have energy control. At the end of the day, it's energy control. Because he who owns the means of productions owns the world. Then the solar radiation emitted from the black panels. I'm not sure. It's like solar radiation doesn't work at all. It works on a very small scale. So if I wasn't mining, solar panels on my roof would be amazing. But I can't freaking do that. I have to stay grid tied here in Crooked Noise, which means that I just get a discount for the electricity being utilized that I'm producing, because I have to sell that. I can't just use the electricity that from the solar panels I have on my roof. I've got to sit there and sell it back to the electric company, and then they give me a discounted. They give me a credit on my electric bill. Yeah, you wouldn't believe what that credit is. It's like 2 cents a kilowatt hour. Yeah, that's what they're willing to pay me here in Crooked Noise for solar panels. Now, if I were to keep it off grid and just have solar panels just for mining, two of the large panels only would control one hashing board from an S9. I mean, it'd be free power, you know. I mean, there's just too much infrastructure that goes into solar panels, especially if you're getting into storing it so that you can utilize it during the nighttime. Yeah, that's a pain in the butt, guys. I just don't. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. I believe that China actually has the world's greatest supply of green energy via hydro. Electric for farms was sub 2 cents. Yes, I will give you that, Patrick. They have a lot of hydroelectric power dams. Lots of them. They produce a lot of green energy already. But at the same time, they are one of the largest producers of pollutants in the world. So there is that too. Yeah, but it's at the same time, Deadwood, I would wonder because standard solar panels under high load, and high load, I'm going to say is 65% utilization would be what I consider high load. They've got no more than a 10-year lifespan on them. So I mean, it's like I've seen them go down faster. It depends on do you live in a dusty environment? Is where you're at a dusty area? Because if it's dusty, it's going to etch the surface of it, which will start over time to lower the absorption of the radiation. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I've looked into the small wind turbines that you can get at your house that produce like 3,000 watts continuous, 3,000 watt and 6,000 watt ones that didn't take up much room, and it's like, yeah, nah. Yeah, but the ROI is 20 years. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Deadwood. Now you see where the scam is, right? It's like Harmony Farms versus vertical wind turbine generators is badass. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was talking about. Those vertical wind turbine generators. They produce between like 3,000 and 6,000 watts a piece. They're awesome stuff, guys. I absolutely love dealing with that. But again, the price tag on it for the amount of money that you're going to put out, the amount of money that you're going to get put out for the amount of returns you're getting. It's like, and then you're going to have maintenance on those things, moving parts. Moving parts will fail. It's not a matter of if, it is more when. And that's how I always look at it. All moving parts fail. I'm a mechanic. It's like I build hot rods, I fix cars. All moving parts fail. It's not a matter of if, it's when. It can foil open and close to reduce over rotation in storms. Yeah, for sure. Still, in moving parts. You're talking about a blade that's going to move. You're introducing another failure point. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, it's like the more complicated the system is, the more failure points that you're going to be on the hook for. And it's just an investment that I wasn't willing to do. I looked into it. I looked at the investment side of investing into it and what the maintenance was over long term. What if the X, Y, and Z broke on it? And you might as well just buy a whole new unit. It's like, so you're now in a perpetual instance of never being able to even start recouping any kind of resemblance of returns back on your investment. You're investing into this power station and it breaks on you and you have to buy a new one. So now you're let's say $10,000 power station just became $20,000 and it still hasn't given you a reasonable rate of return yet. I'm not talking an ROI. Forget the ROI garbage. A reasonable rate of return. That's what we're looking for. It's an investment. You don't ROI until you sell it. So if you're going to sell it in working order, that's when you ROI. Because then you recoup the money that was spent on it. Anything after that is just an investment, and you want to see a reasonable return on investment. If I were to buy a stock option that was paying me dividends, I'm not going to buy $1,000 stock options and get $1,000 worth of dividends and go, oh, it ROI'd. I'd be like, no, it's paying me dividends, right? So, I mean, that's the mindset from the business aspect, is that you never ROI on anything you spend your money on. You can't. It's impossible. So, I mean, it's like, but I don't discourage people from playing around with it. I just give people my thought process on why I chose to go a different route, right? Everybody has their own direction of how they're mining or how they're setting up their house, right? So if you're wanting to get some electrical freedom and maybe mine cheaper, more power to you. Just kind of know that these are the things that will end up costing you, right? All moving parts break. So bearings, how hard is it to pull it apart and maintenance yourself? Because that's how you're going to save the money. Are those bearings in the wind turbines able to be bought, right? Are they maintenance friendly? Because not all companies are maintenance friendly. So finding bearings or finding, odds and ends of, things that may fail over time. It's like, how hard is it for you to maintenance? How hard is it for you to get those parts? Solar panels, they just don't have the longevity. Is my only issue with solar panels. Whenever you do the research on it, you'll start seeing people, oh, mine failed at 8 years. I had a failed one. It's not all of them fail, right? Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's an all or nothing type of deal. But you will experience, in a 10-year period, if you've got 10 solar panels, you're probably going to at least have one or two that fail within that first 10 years that you're going to be on the hook to paying for a new one. When they fail, there is no fixing them. That's the other problem, is that they're not repairable either. Tesla is totally the most maintenance-friendly company ever. Wrong. I will say that one right now. What the hell is that guy? Rich Repairs YouTube channel. He's a Tesla guy. And he has gone back and forth. Tesla won't sell him nothing for his car. They will not allow him to maintenance his own vehicle. And when he did, it put it into, it stopped fast charging on him. He went there. They said that they couldn't unlock it for him, and that he had to bring it in and be recertified before they can unlock it. So if you do a repair on your car and it no longer fast charges and you have to have it recertified, that's not very maintenance friendly. Yeah, Rich Rebuilds, yes. It's like, oh Lord, don't get me started on roof architectures, designers in valleys and dormers. Exactly, the Deadwood. It's the Apple Car Plan. It's like, I know, I love that guy. That guy knows what he's doing. But yeah, I mean, look at all the issues he gets for trying to mess with his Teslas. That's why he hates dealing with Tesla. And now you got to have an Apple style plan to have heated back seats that are already installed in the car. Yep. But you didn't pay for that feature, so it's off. But it's in the car. It's like, it'd be different if you didn't pay for the feature and they just didn't put it in. But no, it's there. It's there. It is the Apple Car Plan for sure. All right, so let's get into some of this stuff here. Since it's like, that's BMW too. Oh yeah, Deadwood. There's a reason why I have issues with a lot of these companies nowadays. I'm a mechanic myself, and it really irritates me in how, not only how they treat their customers, but they treat the people that are keeping their customers happy and their cars on the road. It's almost like they care not. They want you to buy the car, wreck it, and buy another one. Yeah, it's a leasing program, but you don't even realize it. Yeah, and now a lot of these newer cars are all got low jack in there and stuff like that. I'm not happy about that. They can keep that. Yeah, leasing options are no good. Don't ever do a leasing option. If you want to figure out how to get fleeced by the dealership, leasing options is how the dealership fleeces people for money. Big time. Don't do them. Buying a lease option is no different than buying a timeshare. It looks good at the moment, but then 2 weeks later, you regret every decision you made, and it's too late. Absolutely too late. So we got the Ryzen 7900 GPU, 30% more performance. I like that. I like it when people can find more performance, guys. So it is been confirmed that it has hit some pretty good, decent numbers, guys. So see how this pulls up. Oh, you're gonna pull up. There we go. I clicked on it. It didn't come pulling up here at all. Not sure why. So GPU clock 3.1, memory clock 3.2 gigahertz, and the GPU voltage is at 1.39. Temperature was at 53.6. Memory used was very low, so I mean it wasn't like it was a high memory usage load. So they were loading up the VGA cores themselves, and it's with the GPU Z, it's Raphael GPU name Raphael. It's a gigabyte. It's 7900. Unknown BIOS though. So I don't know if this is a special little BIOS that's kind of been tweaked by an extreme overclocker or not. I would love to get my hands on this. With the hardware info, if you guys don't have hardware info on there, it is free to get onto your computer if you're ever wanting to get like information of everything that your board can communicate out with. This is the way to go, guys. So GPU temperatures stayed in the sweet spot, averaged out at 52.8 C. Beautiful temps on there. GPU core voltage average was 1.395. GPU core power was at 37.77 watts, which is pretty. It's for a GPU core, that is a lot of watts coming through that cooler. So I would be interested in, it's like this has got to be underneath liquid nitrogen. There's no way they're cranking out 37 watts to the GPU core and keeping the temperature down. That's just me. It's like we are sorry we missed your scheduled maintenance on your car. We must reduce use and efficiency until you pay our penalty. Yeah, exactly. Deadwood, exactly. So I mean, this is like some decent performance on this, guys. And this is from Scatterbencher. So Geekbench, OpenCL, good scores on that. FluidMark under 1080p, excelled at that. But I think that anything at this point should be like off the charts with 1080p. That is an old standard. I mean, come on. At this point, we should move the scale up one mark, and the standard should be 1440p, not 1080p at this point. 1080p has been reigning champion here for far too long. That is an outdated standard at this point, in my personal belief. AI benchmark, it drops down. Some of that is that it doesn't have enough oomph in the core to begin with. Doesn't matter how high they have the overclock on that. Simple ray tracing is gonna die off on there because of the fact that ray tracing, you're talking, that's not their bread and butter. I don't know how much emphasis that AMD is putting on ray tracing, or is it just that they're making the option available there to do some limited ray tracing because their AI engine isn't up to snuff to running the to run the ray tracing the right way. That's going to be in NVIDIA's wheelhouse on that one, and I'll give it up to NVIDIA over that one. We got Tomb Raider. It's like everything they do is they turn everything down to 1080p and then they start running this because it's a little bit of a lighter workload and it'll show way better scores. It's like if they were to turn this up to 1440p, it would drop this down into that 130% better. But we're 130 or more better because they're tossing them a softball with the 1080p. It's like, let's drop 1080p for the benchmark standard. Let's put it to 1440p and let's start competing that way. Not everybody has 4K. I get that. But at this point, 1440p, which is just 2K, you're talking one resolution higher than 1080p. Come on. But if we were able to get that unknown BIOS that's on here, I think that BIOS would be interesting to play around with for mining. I would like to see if it's optimized in such a way that it will actually mine better. That's just me. I mean, this is a Gigabyte one. I mean, let me know what your thoughts are on that one. I would love to see that, right? That's just me. That is just me, guys. And check this one out. So we're gonna go right into the heart of my last topic here. I had a bunch of topics that I had pulled up, but all of you guys had some awesome conversations. And I love sitting there and kicking back and chit chatting with you, whatever you guys want to talk about. I mean, I'll sit here and chit chat cars with you all day long. I mean, you want to talk cars, man? You're talking to a hot rod guy. I build engines, but seems AMD is getting hosed on the mining options, and then NVIDIA LHR. One might speculate that they are pushing us out of mining. So AMD, when you look at them, so there's 7900 XT, right? We'll base it the 7900 XT versus NVIDIA's 4090, right? So the 4090 has like 330 teraflops in the core, right? AMD's 7900 XT has 187 teraflops or something like that. Don't quote me exactly on the numbers, but the spread is about there, right? I think it's about 180 to like a 330. So we have a huge difference on just the core. And AMD has been making up for that in the memory, right? They know how to utilize that memory. So if there's an algorithm out there that can utilize the memory on it, AMD is gonna just absolutely dominate. It will be the go-to for AMD when it comes down to memory manipulation. When you need a race car to come to your side, you go for NVIDIA because it's got more compute units in its core than what AMD can compete with. That's why NVIDIA is at the top of the market. NVIDIA's top end, AMD was supposed to be like your mid to low end. Now they're trying to be mid-tier, mid to high tiers where they're trying to nestle in. So they're trying to encroach the gap between NVIDIA and them a little bit tighter. Okay, fine. Intel needs to come up behind them. They're going to be your mid to low tier. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But yeah, I mean, I honestly think that we're just seeing some of the drawbacks of each, like the drawbacks of NVIDIA's decisions on how you can utilize your card that you purchase, down to AMD trying to market their GPUs as being a higher tier product than what it actually is. That's what the problem is now. So AMD is now marketing themselves too high. They are half the performance of NVIDIA. Period. They don't have enough core. So that's what makes that. That's the holdback on why AMD sucks for mining now, is because there's nothing out there that's worth dropping your AMD stuff onto outside of Ethereum Classic, and where you're going to be competing with all the ASICs. It is what it is. Yeah, and then there's Zotac with the poop power. Yeah, and it's like, and I'm disappointed because like Zotac made one really good card long time ago, back in the days of the 10 series. Zotac came out with the 1080 Ti Amp Extreme Core Edition. It was a very limited edition, and I have one. And this thing was a baller of a card. That thing's still mining to this day. It was in my PC for a long time until I decided to stick this really expensive 3080 Ti into here while I was water blocking it. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I might as well water block. I couldn't find the water block for my GPU. Like, I couldn't find it. Otherwise, I would have left that 1080 Ti in here all day long. I would have never put this 3080 Ti into my PC. But, you know, if I'm going to sit there and I'm going to put a GPU in here and I'm going to buy a water block for it, then I'm going to sit there and I'm going to find a really good, I'm going to figure out which one of my good GPUs I want to put into my PC. And I chose one that I knew that it would never ROI itself. A 3080 Ti I bought at day one launch for like $2,000. It's like, yep, that one's never going to pay itself back. I might as well just at least use it and have fun with it. The 1060 Mini was an awesome for efficiency. Was. Those were the days. Those were the days. It's like Nexa, Caspa. I've been mining some Nexa. I mean, it's like I've mined a little bit of it. Caspa, no. I mean, I've got my 3080 rig on Nexa. Everything else has been pretty much on Dynex because it's been pretty much relatively profitable. Mining Flux for heat. If you want heat, man, just mine for Ravencoin. Oh, wait a minute. That's expensive, though. Too much heat, right? So, let's get into the last little topic, which was the kind of the title of the stream is, are the elites mining Bitcoin? And the answer is yes, they are. Hut 8 CEO weighs in on the bull and bear markets from a mining perspective. So we're going to just start it off here like this. During the WEF annual conference, the World Economic Forum annual conference in Davos, Switzerland, Jamie Leveron, CEO of Hut 8, a crypto mining entity, a publicly traded company, sat down with this interviewer for a fireside chat at the Crypto Summit that was happening down there. Yep. So, I mean, yeah, we have elites in the field. I mean, you wonder where some of these people are getting money from to being injected into their company. Like, they all of a sudden are putting together a multi-million-dollar company out of nowhere, and nobody's ever heard of some of these people until they start building. And you're like, where'd you come from? And they're like, oh, wow, you're building big. Where'd you get investors from? Oh, we know people. Mm-hmm. And then you see them at the World Economic Forum annual conference in Davos, Switzerland. It's like, it's not like they can attack the market. They can go ahead and try, but they're going to realize that as they start putting in more and more infrastructure to have more and more hash rate, it's a diminishing return over time, and you realize that to buy enough miners to own the network at this point is nearly impossible. I say nearly. I mean, if there was a country that decided to sit there and go, we're going to put all of our gold on the table to buy the miners, they might be able to buy the network. But probably only for a moment. And I doubt any person would sit there and sell miners directly like that. So there's that too. But we definitely have elites in the market. I mean, where do you think Sam Bankman-Fried came from? That's elite money getting injected into the market. So we have elites already playing in the market. They are trying to fundamentally change the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're now trying to do the onset attack from the inside going out. That play is far too late. Now people are starting able to just kind of point their finger and go, I see what you're doing over there. That's a trick. You just shut power off to the countries that mine. That's easier said than done, you know. That would be like every country in the world would be shut off of power then. That's just not going to work. Any further than this bill that they're trying to pass here in Cookinois, of where if they know you're mining and you mined a block and they know you mined that block, that and the court orders you to reverse the transactions that you're now obligated to. And if you're not able to do that, you can't mine in Illinois. It's like they can go pound tacos. It's like I noticed China is going to give the legal okay for Bitcoin. Seems they banned to manipulate the market after dumping coins, then banned BTC to crash it. Then once, it's all legal again. Oh, so shocking. For sure, Deadwood. For sure. It's the elites that are sitting there manipulating the market, guys. This is how you know you're in a very, very young market. Is when a couple of elites with a few $1 million in their pocket, and they get to play the market like a fiddle. And that is going to be some of the issue why Bitcoin is so slow for mass adoption. It's just that there are big players sitting on the sideline manipulating the market, because as they manipulate the market, they burn enough hands in the process to keep the sheep out of it. You know, and the sheep don't realize that they need it the most. Oh, they're not just forcing, or helping their people to buy. They're helping their people to buy it at a low price. And then they allow the money to flood back into the market, where then they manipulate the market back down by, basically they wait for everybody to pile back in. They're like, oh, there's profit. And they go, mine. It's a game of hot potato with the pricing, and they're just extracting value. They don't care about Bitcoin. They just care about how much they can pull out of the market and put into another market, because that's all these elites, they don't care about holding cash. They don't care about holding gold. Their net worth is beyond beyond comprehension of a normal freaking person. So they sit there and go, oh, so I can take the investment out of here and I can put it over here, and it'll triple my money and I can put it over here, and then I can double my money and put it over here, and then I can quadruple my money and put it over here, and then when I get done with this, I could take this, because it's such a big pot, and I can do that to 3 other companies now. And I go, I hollow out the company, and I start up, 3 turns into 9, 9 turns into 18, so on and so forth. And you just have they hollow out companies as they go out, and the money just follows the new company that's getting started. And they make millions, and they've got hollow ass companies on the other end. and talking about hollow companies, it's like talking about elites being in and now talking about a hollow company. This segues into this one really quick before we go. So this one is from NBC News. So, it's a viable source for news. They got some news that's viable. So the feds fined the Mormon Church for illicitly hiding $32, that's right, $billion in investments behind shell companies. Yo. So the Mormon Church that has been sitting there and brainwashing people for decades has been sitting there and engaged with taking money from the church and investing it in the shell companies. And those shell companies sat there and did actual trading. So the Mormon Church is supposed to be being a church or non-for-profit entity. That it was it controlled, had been fined $5 million by the Security Exchange Commissions over the accusation that the religious institution failed to properly disclose investment holdings. In order for the release Tuesday, the SEC alleged that the church illicitly hid its investments and their management behind multiple shell companies from 1997 to 2019. In doing so, it failed to disclose the size of the church's equity portfolio into the SEC and the public. The church was concerned that the disclosure of the assets in its name of the nonprofit entity called Ensign Peak Advisors, which manages the church's investment, would lead to a negative consequence in light of the size of the church's portfolio, the SEC said. So they want to sit there and hire in $50,000 new agents for the IRS, and you have the SEC can't even find this stuff. Obviously, the taxation side of it's not going to find anything other than hardworking people make mistakes on their taxes sometimes, and shit happens. Versus this, I mean, this isn't something that was like new. You're talking over 20 years it's been doing this. It has the range of $38 billion in investments. And you think that that they're going to be any more capable on the taxation side? It's like they're not going after the elites. This was just one of the elites that didn't do their job right. Usually when elites that they don't like, because let's be real about it, the Mormon Church, they're weird people. I mean, like, they can come grill me all they want. In my opinion, they're weird people. And they're brainwashed. It's like, wow, that's deep. Yeah. So, to kill a small business. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Non-for-profits should not exist. They're only serve fraud. Now, yes and no, Patrick. Yes and no. Not-for-profit doesn't mean they don't pull profits. It just means that they spend more. They have to spend 52% of their earnings to be considered not-for-profit. So they can still have a profit in order to reinvest into the company, yada, yada, yada. But their overall expenditures have to be at least over 50% of what they bring in has to be for the company itself and what it does, right? So I see pros and cons with it. The pros is for the legitimate actors that are, legitimate churches doing legitimate stuff. It works for them. organizations that do stuff for for good. They're pulling in donations so that they can help people in other countries. Blah blah blah. Yes, there are bad actors in every entity of it, and it's very easy for bad actors to get involved with it and manipulate the system. And it really looks bad whenever us regular people who don't use that system go, man, why is it every time all of it's always a scam of some sort? A lot, because it's a slippery slope on their end. Unfortunately, the Mormon Church got slapped with this one. Those Mormon girls are so pretty. Yeah. I'll disagree with that one. I've had them come up to my door. They don't know more. Thank God. It's like, just made a solid business to provide the service that you wish to. Like Goodwill. Pure profit business and does well. True. $100%. I mean, I don't have any problems with not-for-profit businesses, but yeah, it's just they if you're going to be claiming not-for-profit, then people need to go into your bookkeeping a little deeper. How big is the Catholic Church? What do they hide? Exactly. If you're going to claim not-for-profit, then it's like they need more scrutiny over their books. Make sure that their books aren't being cooked. I'm just saying, and I agree with that aspect, Deadwood. If you're gonna seek taxation asylum, then the government's gonna breathe down your throat a little harder, and I think that's how it should be. If you're gonna go down that route, otherwise, turn around, make your business, make it for profit, and pay the price. Period. Super easy. And it's like they wonder where these government agencies are going. Hey, all this money's out here in the market. Where is it? And they found some. They found $32 billion of that money. And out of that $32 billion that was being moved around, how many elitists' money was in there? Oh, that's a good one. What kind of elitist put their money in here and just had it popped? What elitist is being basically annexed out from being an elite? That's my thing, my theory, But what do I know? What do I know? I know that there's 6 people in here and there's 9 likes. That is awesome. Yo. It's like, Patrick, what don't they hide? Any remorse? Yeah, exactly. So, does anybody have any comments or questions before I head up out of here, guys? Anything at all before I head up out of here? Oh, you're wrong, Check Man. Deadwood, get gone. Have a great day. Well, then you got to put an FA in the chat. Then you have to put a FA in the Chizity chat. I'm just saying. Rules are rules. Everybody has to come in. Drop those FAs in the chat. Because all of you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo, that's right. And if you guys haven't noticed, I've been keeping my swearing down to a minimum as of lately. I'm just saying. I'm trying trying to get the YouTube algorithm to like me a little bit here. Yo. So thank you everybody for being here. If you haven't done so, smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe if you're new here, hit the bell notification, double check to make sure the bell notification turned on for everything. Yo, share this out on your favorite social media. Help me get the word out to more of you awesome people out there, because it helps me grow my channel and get the word out for everything that I do. And I think I'm gonna start doing some some of my 10 to 20 minute vids again, just little quick news bits here, just here and there. Maybe do a video, like a how-to video, a little 10-minute how-to video, and kind of go from there, guys. So thank you everybody for being here, all that good stuff. Thank you for support me all this time. If you guys are wanting to have your rigs hosted at the facility, we are hopefully getting closer here. We have temporary power in. We have passed the building inspection. We're signed off, good to go. So now we just need to we got power up and running. We have our meters working properly. We have an extra 200 amps worth of electricity. It goes quick. I'm just saying. But I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get more power here very soon. Patrick, that's funny. F.A. Fake afros. Too funny. So thank you everybody for being here, all that good stuff. I would love to have you all part of the Patreon, join the Patreon, links down below. If you get into the pseudo hasher tier, you get VIP membership into the facility. So when we start going live with the bigger power, you'll be the first ones that we contact for, how much rigs are you going to be sending to us. So if you're wanting to send us rigs, you want us to host your stuff at 9 cents a kilowatt hour, you ain't getting it cheaper nowhere else. I personally guarantee it. No problem wheeling crypto, no problemo. But yeah, make sure that, it's like if you want to be hosted by us, by me and Mikkel, that you need to get into that VIP waiting list. That VIP waiting list also comes with a perk that is very beneficial to you guys. It almost makes the Patreon side of it free at that point. We're getting closer to it, so it's not like it's, if you're getting in early, it's just getting in early. But at least you're getting that reservation that, because once we call up all of the people in the Patreon, because they're going to be the first, I'm not going to publicly announce it. It's going to be me telling you guys to go into the Patreon, get in there before it starts, and then, hey, it's live. Come bring your rigs over. Everything's good to go. We are open to the public, and it's going to happen. The transition is going to be like that. So there'll be a point where you're just going to want to get in, get in when you get in. I'm just saying, links down below to the Patreon, get in there. Now, if you don't want to join because you're like, hey, I only have, a couple of GPUs and I just prefer to mine it at my house. It's really nothing. I don't care. That's fine. At least join the Discord. That's free. Links down below, guys. Love to have you part of the Discord. Love to have you part of the family. Get on in there. We got a lot of awesome people in there that'll be more than happy to help all of you awesome people out if I'm not available right then and there. And with that being said, peace out, stay savage, and may your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one.